Welcome to Bedtime Stories. The Promise. Once upon a time, there lived two brothers together in a village. The brothers were as different from each other as night from day. The youngest brother was generous and good, and spent his days in the cool mountains, hunting for food to feed the family. The elder brother was greedy and cruel. He spent his days by the sea, fishing for food to feed only himself. One day the younger brother walked out of the mountains and, looking out to sea, he decided he would try his hand at fishing. He borrowed his brother's hook and sat at the edge of the sea. There he fished for many hours but had no luck. At last the sun began to set and he stood to leave. Suddenly he felt something big has grabbed his line. He pulled and pulled, struggling to hold onto the line, but, alas, the line snapped and the fish swam away with the hook in his mouth. When the younger brother returned home, he told his elder brother what had happened. The elder brother was furious. "You must find my fishing hook," he cried, "and you may not come back home until you have." That was a special hook. The younger brother promised to his elder brother that he will definitely find his special hook and will return soon. The elder brother hoped his brother would disappear forever. Sad and discouraged, the younger brother walked to the edge of the sea and sat down to think. "How will I ever find a lost fishhook?" he asked himself. He decided to jump into the sea to search for the hook. "I do not know how to swim," he said to himself, "but I must try to find that hook." He jumped into the water. Down, down, down he went. "Surely I will drown," he gurgled as he struggled against the currents. But he did not drown, for the Lord of the Tides was watching over him, as he watched over all good men. He realized that he could breathe. Calming down, he let himself sink deeper and deeper, enjoying the cool embrace of the water. At last he reached the bottom of the sea and he gasped, for before him he saw an exquisite palace built of shimmering pearls and glistening shells. Sitting outside of the palace he saw, to his delight, a beautiful water princess combing her long black hair with a comb made of coral. When she looked up and saw the young man floating toward her, she turned to go inside the palace, for she was a modest princess and she wanted to announce the arrival of this stranger to her father, the king of the sea. He landed on the soft sand, and a moment later the princess and the king of the sea greeted him. "Welcome to our watery world," said the king. The young man was so enchanted with the beauty of the palace and the kindness of the sea creatures that he soon forgot all about his brother's fishing hook. He spent many days wandering through the reedy gardens, staring in wonder at the many creatures he had never seen. Soon he fell in love with the princess of the coral comb, who was called the Jewel Lady. She too fell in love, for she sensed that he was a good and kind man, and not long afterward the young man and the Jewel Lady married. Many months passed in happiness, but then one day he woke with a start, for he had remembered his brother's fishing hook. "My dearest wife," he said, "I have forgotten a promise I made. I must find my brother's fishing hook and return it to him, for I told him that I would." A man must always keep his promises. His wife agreed. "You will need help," she said, and she went to her father to seek his advice. Soon the king of the sea had gathered all the sea creatures together. "We seek a fishhook lost many months ago," he said to one and all. The sea creature looked at one another. "Have you seen a fishhook?" They bubbled and gurgled and murmured as the king walked through the crowds. At last he came upon a sad-looking shark who sat without moving. "What's this?" asked the king, and he looked into the sad shark's eyes. Slowly the shark opened his mouth, and the king saw a terrible sore. He reached inside and gently pulled. "Here is your hook," he said to his son-in-law. He smiled, but then, with a sad heart, he turned to his wife. "I must return to my old home to give my brother back his hook," he said. I hope you will come live with me there. The Jewel Lady embraced her husband. I am going to give birth to your son, and I wish him to live a life as gentle and sweet as our life here. Remember, 1 year and 1 day you will have to return to the kingdom of the sea. He promised he would do his best, and will return back to her in that time. With that he bade his wife farewell. The king of the sea turned to his son-in-law and said, "Here is a magical shell. If you need help, you must ask the shell to bring the sea to the land, and the shell will obey you. And if you tell it to send the sea back to its bed, that too shall happen." The young man climbed upon the back of a dolphin and rowed up and up to the shore. At last he came to the shore where he had lost his hook so many months before. There he saw his elder brother sitting and staring out at the horizon. "Here is your hook," the younger brother cried to his elder brother, but now the elder brother was astonished and delighted to see him return. He rushed at his brother, and embraced him, saying that, how much they had missed him. The younger brother was astonished at this changed behavior of his elder brother. The elder brother told him how they had survived these days with no food. Soon he showed the elder brother the magical shell and showed him how it works for us to get the ocean's riches on the shore. He gave his magical shell, he looked down and whispered, "Bring up the sea." At once an enormous wave rolled up onto the beach with all the fishes, crab and shells on the shore. "Return to your bed," he called, and with that the wave rolled backward, leaving all the ocean's riches on the shore for him to take for his family. The younger brother and the elder brother then set to work together for the family's needs. They would sell the riches which they made from the magical shell and started to build a palace for their family. After some time he said to his elder brother that he had promised his wife for his return to the sea. "So once the palace is completed I will have to return back to her, as she will deliver our child in a year." The elder brother was happy to listen and said, "The palace is completed. You have kept your promise," he cried. "You can go and stay with your good wife. You must return to the sea before the year end." Before long the younger brother returned to his wife. And that is what happened. The Jewel Lady gave birth to a boy. She was very happy for the return of her husband and said, "You are really a man of word and honor, who always keep up your promises. We will raise our child same like you and teach him how to keep his promises." And with that, they lived happily in their beautiful palace of Sea Kingdom forever after. If you like the story, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you for listening. Good night.